outside of our partners, I think I spend the most time with you guys. Yeah. But when you go from that to in effect nothing and then figuring out as lockdown opened up how much time that is, we went through that learning phase and we still haven't bounced back. We won't ever bounce back to 5 days a week, I anticipate. But it's a big shift that we went through. And because we are so lucky that we all get along so well, there are going to be moments where you just want to talk shit with your colleagues and there's no space to do that now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Are we truly happy working from home after 3 years of doing it?
Welcome to the Marketing Mentors podcast, brought to you by Red Pandas Digital. I am Tasha, joined by, of course, the one and only Linda.
Hello, T.
And that's an interesting sentence that you say there.
Thanks.
No, you're more than welcome. Working from home 3 years. Wow, it feels like only yesterday we were all getting our offices sorted out at home, you know, the stand-up desks and we were getting, what do they call
new
desks?
furniture.
Yeah, new furniture being delivered.
That was the fun part of it.
Yeah, just getting everything sorted, like acclimatizing to working from home. It was such a novelty, 3 years ago. And we are in the full swing of working from home, maybe too much right now.
Yeah, I think for everyone that's listening, you know, we work from home most of the week. We tend to see each other once a week, maybe once a fortnight sometimes, depending on who you are within the team. We all come in different cadences.
Yep.
But yeah, we for the majority are working from home now.
Yeah. Which it's funny because like a lot of my friends or some clients even will be like, oh, that's really cool. Like you must love that. I'm like, yeah, of course I love it.
Yeah.
And it's extremely efficient. And I'm grateful that I have that opportunity to have such a strong work from home presence. But it's funnily enough, and we're going to get into it in this episode, there's things that are starting to come out now which I think are not consequences, but
we're just cognizant of
results of
the fact that we've been doing this for so long now. We've
maybe
been
too
working
much
from home for the last 3 years, and it's come with so many perks. And for the most part, we still really love it. It allows us to just do so much more with our time.
Yeah,
the fact that we can be able to compartmentalize and work from home, and the travel and all of that. Like, there's so many perks to it. But yeah, we've been having some conversations internally about like how it's been affecting our mental health, our happiness, and it's funnily enough stems from a study that we're going to reference a little bit today.
Yep.
So there's a TED Talk for those of you who are interested. It's really interesting. It is called What Makes a Good Life? Lessons from the Longest Study on Happiness. It's a Harvard study, and it's apparently the longest study that's ever been done on adult life. They studied men, 724 men to be specific, for 75 years, asking about their work, their home lives, their health, their happiness. And from my understanding, studies like this are super rare. You know, studies that go on for 75 years because so many factors means that people drop off. People die. Like people drop off.
That's it.
Funding, dries up. There's all these different reasons, but through a combination of factors, the study went on for 75 years. And
beautiful.
Some of the findings were really, really interesting. Okay. And we're going to talk through some of those points and, of course, relate them back to our working life and working from home because we felt like it tied in really conveniently and nicely with what we're going through. But I anticipate if we're feeling this way about working from home and being very virtual a lot of the time, then I guess a lot of you guys might be feeling the same way too, especially if you're spending that much time at home.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So with that, let's talk through some of the findings. Some of them are going to be related to work, some of them aren't. But, most people think, of course, the external factors, wealth, that sort of, external validation brings happiness. But of course, the study revealed that that's not the case.
Yep.
And the number one thing that makes people happiest is social connections.
Yeah.
And social connections to family, to friends, to colleagues, to the community makes people happier. And it's not shocking, but it's like, wow, like how important it really is. Yep. And I know I haven't given a lot of thought to the topic up until now, really. Like recently, I haven't thought that much about it. But it really showed that loneliness has a toxic effect on health. And I know for us too, we've been talking about that a lot. One particular part of the study, which was really interesting, was the quality of relationships matter more than the quantity.
Yeah. This one resonates with me a lot. And we
Yeah.
were talking about that before, because I can spend, and this happened all through COVID, obviously when the gyms reopened, when they were shut, it didn't. But when they reopened, I was at the gym every day. I still am every day. I have client calls from, 8 till 4 every day. And it's like I'm seeing and talking to people. But like in the last couple of days, it was a couple of weeks and then a couple of days I've been able to, I think, articulate what it is. It was today, day of recording, that I felt like I really got it, where I was like, I've just felt a bit of a void, a bit of emptiness. And I'm like, what is it? Because life's good. Like I've got a great job. My job's good. Yeah, it's hard. Like it's stressful sometimes, but that's a constant. My family's really good. Financially, everyone's feeling the pinch right now, but it's okay. We're in a peaceful world. A peaceful world, I mean, as in like where we are, our world that we can control. We're peaceful. And like everything's good. What have I got to complain about? What is that void? And it wasn't until I literally got to work today and like socially connected with you, Linda, and was in your presence and spoke to you and felt your energy near mine, that I was like, oh, I've missed this. And even talking about it now, I have these goosebumps because I'm like, I've missed this. Oh, we didn't do our Vanguard that everyone should have a box of tissues. I feel like I'm going to cry. And maybe a glass of wine.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm fine. No, good. But I think that's like, and of course I'm going to get emotional about it, talking about it now, because it's like, it has been missing I think in my life a little bit. And you brought it up when I came back from a call before. You're like, hey, Tash, I think this is something we can talk about, and I think people can connect with this.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm not articulating it very well, and it's a feeling, but that social connectedness that Linda's just mentioned, it's so much more. And like you said, the quality over the quantity, it's so much more than just seeing someone and being in their presence. It's like the quality of the time that you have with that person.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have calls with clients and I see people at the gym, but none of those interactions are the interactions I have with you.
Yeah.
And you're someone that I've known for years. I've sat by you, you've seen me go through a lot, vice versa.
Yeah.
So we have a connection that other people might not have with. So
I think
it's important.
We're lucky in that sense. And I don't know if everyone would be feeling this way, talking about it with you now, only because we're so lucky we have such good relationships with all of our team at work, like you and me, us with the rest of the team, like everyone like has such good relationships, and we're so lucky in that way. And so I'm the same T, because we're so blessed and lucky in that respect. When you go from interacting with these people every day, like we spend so much time with each other, like outside of our partners, I think I spend the most time with you guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely when we were working in the office, right?
Yeah.
At least 5 days a week we're together. There's so much time. So then for
so
that to be
too
much time.
Hey, look, this is what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Like, is 5 days too much? Is 3 days? Who knows, right?
But when you go from that to in effect nothing. And then figuring out as lockdown opened up how much time that is, like we went through that learning phase, and from no time to now sometime, we still haven't bounced back. And we won't ever bounce back to 5 days a week, I anticipate. But it's a big shift that we went through.
Yeah.
And because we are so lucky that we all get along so well, I think, there are going to be moments, like I felt it as well, T, where like you just want to talk shit with your colleagues and there's no space to do that now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like we have our meetings that we have, professional meetings that we have about things that are important.
Linda's like, I've got to make sure that there are professional meetings, of course, that we have.
We don't schedule meetings to talk shit.
That's it. We don't.
We have fun, like when we're with each other, when we see each other on a Friday, we see each other once a week. Like we can't wait to just talk about nothing because we're missing that.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that maybe we might both have been feeling, and I'm sure other people out there as well, is we haven't had that space created for us, or being cognizant of creating a space where we actually just meet to talk and hang out, because we used to do that so much.
I actually think we did it better in COVID.
I agree.
Because no one was
made
going
that
out.
Space.
No one was going out. We were in lockdown. Friday afternoons, like you remember, we'd finish.
It was so much fun.
We'd have our Friday afternoon catch up, which was like the wrap up of the week. No one was going anywhere, so we were all happy to just stay online. And I remember like
we were playing games. Remember, we were playing online games.
Moby was getting us into his NFT cryptocurrency, whatever was going hot right then. But we had that space, and I remember we would stay on for like hours.
Yeah.
Some nights they were 7:30 before we got off. We were like, gotta go have dinner.
Yeah.
But then, since then we've come back and we've kept up the same level of intensity as working from home.
Yeah.
Where you can be a bit more efficient and productive because you don't have to commute or, you can just kind of back to back a little bit and then take a bit of a longer break. Like we've kept that up, but not kept up that social quote unquote social part of the team. Now we have daily huddles, which we've talked about before, but again, those daily huddles aren't aimed at social connectedness. They're just very productive. They're production type of meetings.
But you know what? I think what we've found is even for those meetings, like those productive meetings where we have a really specific agenda, it's a 7-minute call, we find ourselves still wanting to linger and talk.
2 days ago when Christine and Luca rocked up as AIs, of course they want to do
avatars.
Yeah, avatars using AI. Sorry, they
rocked up as artificial intelligence. They rocked up as data.
Well, technically, if you want to get really technical, they rocked up as an AI, right? Like being there. Anyway, whatever. They rocked up as like cartoon characters, and it was hilarious and gold, and like we loved it. But you're right, that huddle isn't the best place to do that every day. But you can see people are hungry for it. And I think that's been missing, and we are also so focused on head down, bum up, getting the shit done.
Yeah,
we are not making the time for this like social piece that we need, and we're social humans. We are all social humans. We need this. So funnily enough, I don't think there's one golden rule that's going to solve the problem. We are implementing next week actually, Teams lunches.
Yeah.
So facilitated by either myself or a colleague, we're going to be on a Teams call for an hour, just having our lunch, which I low-key love because it's forcing me to take a break, which I can be guilty of not doing. But also because we've got such a virtual, globalized team, it's allowing people to jump in. They don't have to come. It's not mandatory. Yeah. It's just going to be an open line for our team to come in, have your food. You don't even have to be there for an hour. It's like it's a space.
Yeah.
It's a space to do that. So I'm looking forward to kicking those off.
And I think the really beautiful thing about it is it's non-mandatory as well, which is important because when we interact with each other, when we see each other in the morning, that's non-mandatory. We do it because we enjoy each other's company and we enjoy chatting and talking about whatever it is. And so I think that's a space that we're trying to replicate. We want to create that space internally where we can just enjoy each other's company and have a conversation and it not feel like it's something that we have to turn up to.
Yeah.
Because if it feels like that, then I feel like it won't fill that bucket of that social interaction and keeping that loneliness at bay.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think we're going to trial it, see how it goes with the team. It might not work exactly the way coming to an office and seeing your colleague at morning tea or lunch, afternoon tea, or in the morning works. Because like you just said, when I see you walking down the hallway or when we catch up with each other on the, the road on the walk to the office, it's a non-mandatory micro moment where we can bond and connect and have a social interaction and feel connected for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen even with a Teams lunch. Let's be honest. It's not going to happen, but we can try and recreate space for it. Yep. That's what I think you're getting at. So look, we're all learning, like you guys listening. Hopefully you can see us going through this progress or of learning and growing as people and leaders. And this is one thing that we've just noticed. We're feeling it within ourselves, and it's really hot right now because I don't know if it's just it is what it is in the time of the year it is as well. Like we're heading in towards probably the longest unbreaked time before Christmas, which is traditionally between now and Chrissy is pretty like full on. Yeah. And then we have a big lull, right? So we're probably feeling it. Yeah. But one thing I think which is probably good for us to talk about is over that quality over quantity thing is, we have where am I going with this? The leadership. Like when you, me, Mobes, Tony are in different areas of Sydney and having to do everything virtual, little things that happen as a leader that you have to be aware of. If you're in a room with your other fellow leadership team members and you have this reaction to something, if you're right next to me, Linda, you can turn to me and be like, T, have you got 2 minutes?
Yeah.
And we can kind of like powwow out whatever has come up from, leadership point of view.
Yeah.
Be there for each other and then move on from it.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss that at home.
I find as well, like with that, because we don't have that where I can just turn to you, I actually have now found myself more recently, funnily enough, I feel like the first 1 to 2 years of working from home, I was good. Like I had it all under control, but it's funnily enough, like this year, I don't know why, like maybe not this year, but maybe the last few months, I'm not sure what it is, but I've found myself not reacting to things the way that I used to in the same manner. And I'll be really vulnerable with you guys. There was, I think just last week, like I was maybe 2 weeks ago, I was having like just a meltdown day, combination of like different things like, workload, burnout, but just also just the negative conversations on
Full
the day
moon.
And yeah, who knows? Yeah, all of that stuff going on. And I was having a day and I didn't have any internal meetings with my team that day. And I didn't want to bother anyone because we're all busy and going through it, and bothering someone virtually is a lot more difficult than it is if you just turn to them and say,
100%.
hey, can I talk to you? You know what I mean? Because you don't actually know what they're up to. Anyway.
And
so
it's
we
weird.
have a huddle.
You don't always do it. That's what I mean. You don't just like slide into someone's Slack and be like, hey, can I just like...
Because then it feels bigger than what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not, you said it before, it's not organic. It almost becomes like this, it feels mandatory.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, I don't really want to talk to you about your problems right now. But yeah keep going. Sorry.
But so we have a daily huddle.
Yeah.
And so I took it upon that opportunity to kind of vent, which was typically not a decision that I would make, right? Like I would typically reserve that for someone like you, T, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like a one-on-one conversation where I can kind of confide.
Yeah. And I say that, I think I want to asterisk on that only because I think it doesn't matter where you work or who you are, what you do, being open with your feelings is important.
Yeah.
We have a tight team. We all work really closely together, and leadership is, again, a small team here. And the reason why Linda said she'd reserve that for me is because I'm with her in leadership. We're together in leadership. So it's important that you and I have each other's backs so we can be good leaders for the rest of our team. Yeah. And it's almost like when mum and dad fight. Yeah. If mum and dad fight, the kids feel it, right? And we don't want the kids to feel us fighting because they come to us when they need us to be strong, guiding leaders. So it's as leaders, it's this like very fine line that we dance on. How much do I share with you to know that I'm going through struggles too? And then pulling some, oh my God, this is groundbreaking stuff. It's not even new, but it's like, again, it's giving me like these feels because it's like I have to show up as a leader to make sure you guys feel like I can lead you and help you. Yeah. And if I give you too much and you know all of the shit that's going on up in here, you probably won't have that confidence in me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what Linda's saying. That. She confided with me because we're leaders together. Yeah. But yeah, you keep going. That was amazing.
I love that. Okay. That's
sorry. I didn't mean to say that over.
No, don't be sorry. No, it's so true. And
it makes a lot of sense.
And it's funny because, we're having this conversation over a podcast, but you know what I mean? Like, creating that space to be able to have these conversations is still what we're saying is so important. So that way we can talk through this and work through emotions and feelings together because that's what we always used to do. Yeah. And so we're navigating a space where we are dealing with those things in a very different way.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
And as you guys are probably learning, like we don't have all the answers. We're really still, we're 3 years into a work from home space. So we're all still learning and figuring it out. Yeah. But I'd say that's definitely something that I'm working through right now, like just being able to respond to things in a way where, because I think when, pre-work from home, being able to bounce off you and talk with the whole team. Yeah. You respond to things differently.
And keep in mind, Linda, when we went into COVID, like lockdowns, it really was only me, you and Moby. Like we were the full-time team members.
Oh my God, that's so true.
So since then, in 3 years, we have grown to Soph as well. There was probably about 4 of us full-time. Yeah. And since then, we're now almost at 12 full-time, like locally. Yeah. We're too big to have everyone in the office at the same time is what I'm basically saying. So you and I think we're in a very like interesting situation in ourselves that obviously we've got this like much longer relationship there, and we worked side by side with each other.
Yeah.
A lot of our colleagues, some younger, some older, the younger ones haven't had roles in offices where they've had to work 5 days a week in an office.
Yeah.
Some of them have come out of university in the last few years, which is awesome because they bring a fresh new perspective to things, but they also have a different, like you said before, an anchor to what was like pre-COVID for them.
Yeah.
They don't know what that life's like. So they're navigating these other new feelings of.
I think for us, we're lucky because we've done both. We've had both worlds. So we anchor ourselves back to what we knew about social connection in the workplace.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like for the younger generation, their anchor point is only work from home virtual life. They don't know what it's like to have that social connection and how that feeds you when you have that full time.
100%. And without getting into like a whole other therapy session, that could be another reason why we're seeing a lot of like mental health issues
and
with
loneliness
some of these
on the rise.
Younger generations, because they don't have that.
Yeah.
Some of these kids have gone from university into work from home life and they think that's the norm.
Yeah.
They don't know what it's like, those micro moments that we're talking about, walking down the road, getting a coffee, shit talking in the office. So yeah, this is awesome. This is really cool. I feel like that brings us to our final point, which is like the balance.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about presence, we talk about balance, work from home life balance, like hashtag, but I don't like hashtag balance. Like that's what it is, right? We're trying to achieve this balance.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's not like everyone's so used to having like, here's the curriculum, here's how to have work from home life balance. I don't think there's a cookie cutter answer or approach. I really don't. Because you asked me before a really good question. You're like, do you think we've achieved that? And I didn't have to think about it. I was like, nope.
Yeah,
like, I know
agree.
we haven't. I can feel it within me. We haven't.
Yeah.
Will we ever? Who knows? I think even just conversations
I think it's
like
always
this,
going to look different because
I
we're
agree.
going through the initial journey of like virtual work from home. Maybe down the track there might be a more systematic approach to it, right?
Yeah,
but
maybe.
like right now I feel like we're still like in our infancy stage when it comes to working from home. So we're still trying to figure out what the right balance is and what that looks like. And once we find the right balance of, okay, this many days in the office, this many days at home, it's like, okay, well, what are the things that also supplement that?
Yeah.
Like the team lunch, like the, what do you call it, T? Because
Teams lunch?
Yeah, Teams like
lunch.
where people can just pop in.
It could be a Zoom's lunch as well. It really just depends on the software you're using.
I thought you meant Teams in the team, but you're actually talking about the tool.
The software. Yeah. It could be Google Hangout lunch, Zoom lunch, Teams lunch.
Got you.
Whatever software you want to use. Skype lunch. Yeah, just joint video call lunch.
FaceTime lunch. Okay, that's enough.
Facebook lunch. Okay, all right, that's enough. Yeah. There's an echo in here. Jesus. It's the three.
There were two of me in here.
Oh my goodness. All right. So yeah, the balance. I feel like it's definitely something we're working on. And like Linda said, it will change over time. I don't think it'll ever be like, 3 days from home, 2 days in the office. I think it's just going to be dependent. And the more we can be open with ourselves and look within ourselves and know how I'm feeling. And like we say this like tension, what is it? Tension comes before friction. No, friction
the breakthrough. There's a word of breakthrough.
There's a proper saying here.
Tension comes before the breakthrough. No, Moby's going to be so disappointed
friction
in
forebodes
us.
Breakthrough. I don't know. There's a really good saying which basically means there has to be some friction or tension before there's a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Right? Just like when there's a big conflict, there's always some type of learning or lessons or resolution, and you grow and you learn. That's what I'm trying to say. So I feel like if you can become aware of these little bits of tension or friction within yourself and know what some of those triggers are, again, without getting too deep into therapy and psychoanalysis stuff here.
Yeah.
If you can be aware of these things like, I am feeling, like this is me feeling a bit of loneliness because I've been working from home too much, reach out to your team and organize a day to come into the office and be honest. I think it's important to be honest and say, guys, my heart feels like it needs a work from office day.
Yeah.
Oh, work from office instead of work from home.
WFO. Yeah.
Oh my God, Linda. So Linda can't spell for our listeners.
Linda's dyslexic. No, I'm not.
But yeah, do you have anything else you want to add on to today's very deep topic?
It was a deep topic, wasn't it?
I enjoyed it though.
No, I don't think so, T. I think it's nice that we're talking about it. Like it's nice that we're reflecting on 3 years of working from home and being virtual. And
I think on that point, anyone listening thinking, I wish I could work from home more, the grass isn't always greener.
yeah,
The grass is not always greener. Like, we're doing it a lot, and we're sitting here literally saying we need to come into the office more to be with each other.
how crazy. I wonder if we would have said this 3 years ago.
No way.
We feel like we need to come into the office more.
No way. 3 years ago, it would have been like, I wish I could work from home all the time.
Yeah.
Wishes come true, and now I don't want it anymore. Now I want to be back in the office a bit more. Look, 3 years ago I didn't have a 2-year-old, so my life's changed a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Happy to come into the office and stay back if I need to. She's 2, Linda.
Oh, how long
It's
can I stay there for?
devil child. Anyway, I love you so much if you're ever listening to this. She's not the devil child. She's just 2. If anyone has a 2-year-old, 2 is hard.
Yeah. You need your time. Yeah.
That's what it is. Before we wrap up, it wouldn't be an episode without a plug of our upcoming Digital Marketing and Sales Mastery event. They Ask You Answer APAC. And Linda and I, for the last 2 weeks, have been using yours truly in the wrong way. So yours truly actually means me. And yours truly will be speaking, myself, Tasha, on customer journey mapping, as well as Linda on...
Yours truly.
You can.
Yeah, that's
now
what I'm
you say. Linda will be talking on what is it again? Seven killer prompts that you need to be using in your marketing right now. The event is on the 31st of October here in Sydney. We have second release tickets. They're ending actually in 8 hours. So I don't know. This is not going to, the price is going to be more than this. But if you are listening and you are interested in coming, slide into mine or Linda's DMs on LinkedIn, and we will give you a special Marketing Mentors code to give you 50% off the price of the ticket. You are in for a real treat. And I think I said this a few weeks ago, that if you see us, we'll sign your t-shirt. Yeah. That's what you're saying. But yeah, please, definitely, if anyone's listening and they're keen on coming, I'm more than happy to sign your t-shirt. No, give you a coupon.
Oh, I love that. We have to end there.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, Linda, as always.
Thanks, T.